Hey there, welcome back to TechQuest eAcademy. It's been a while, but I'm excited to be back and bring you some amazing content. Today we're diving into Python data types, which are foundation of programming in Python. This video is beginner friendly and I will explain every concept in detail to make sure that you fully understand. So grab your computers and let's get started. In Python, data types determine kind of data a variable can hold. For example, 10 is a number, so it's an integer. Hello, which is in string, is a text, so it's a string. True represents a true or false value, which is called a boolean. These data types tell Python how to handle and manipulate data. Python's data types are grouped into three main categories. Primitive data types, which are the simplest forms of data like numbers or text. Compound data types, which allow us to group or organize multiple values together, such as lists or dictionaries. Special data types. These handle unique cases like representing no value or raw binary data. We'll break each of these down with clear examples. Let's start with primitive data types. These represent single, simple values. So let's start with some of its examples. The first data type in primitive is integers. You can see on the screen here we assign the value 10 to the variable x. When we check the type used in type x, Python tells us it's a class int, which means it's an integer. Integers are whole numbers, so they can be negative or positive or even zero. For example, -5, 0 or 100 are all examples of integers. The second data type is float. This time we assign 3.14 to the variable pi. When we check its type, Python says class float, which means it's a float. Floats represent numbers which have decimals, so 0.5, -1.23, or even 10.0 are all floats, as long as it contains a point. The third data type is string. In this example, greetings holds the text hello world. Python identifies this as class string, which means it's a string. Strings store text. You can use single quotes or double quotes to create them, even if you use numbers, but they are in strings. This is also considered as a string. Data type number 4 is booleans. This is our last data type in primitive. You can see is happy is assigned to true. Python says it's class bool when you use the type function to identify the type. So bool is the short for boolean. Booleans only have two values, true and false. Please notice that true and false are written with capital letters. Their initials are written in capital letters. This is different from other programming languages like JavaScript, where you find true is all small letters. So they are great for checking conditions like if something is true, do this. If something is false, then do that. Let us now go to a second category, which is compound data types. As we said, compound data types organize multiple values together. So one of the example is list data type. This is a list as you can see on the screen. We start by using square brackets. List can hold multiple items, like you can see it has red, blue and green. So list can also mix types. So you could have in numbers, having strings and even other lists inside one list. The second data type in the compound data type category, we have tuple. A tuple is like a list but can't be changed after creation. For example, screen dimensions like 1920, 1080 are stored in tuples using parentheses, as you can see on the screen. The third data type is dictionaries. Dictionaries use curly braces to store data as key value pairs. You can see that in our example, name maps to the value John and age is mapped to the value 30, which is a number. Accessing values by their keys, we can do it like this. Person, then square brackets, then show the property in quotes. This will return the value John, and this is usually referred as bracket notation. When we come into the properties and methods of data types, this is when we are going to dive deep into this. Now the fourth data type is sets. A set is a collection of unique items. Even though we added 3 twice, Python ensures it only appears once in the set, as you can see it on the example. So if we use type unique numbers, we will see that it is class set, which means the data type is set. Let us now go to our last category, which is special data types in Python. As you can see in our example, none represents no value or an empty placeholder. You can assign it to variables you plan to update later on. The second data type is bytes. These are used for binary data like files or images. The B before the string indicates it's stored as a byte, which will differentiate it from a normal string. In Python, variables can change types. As you can see in our example, 10 is assigned to X. Then later on, assign X to a certain text like TechQuest. Python handles this flexibility for you because Python is a dynamic type language. Thank you for watching. Our video will now be out every 2 days. Every 2 days. So hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to stay updated. See you in the next video. Ciao.